Picture yourself in a quiet, dark space. The air is soft and cool, like the inside of a deep cave long ago. You are safe here, floating. Now, let your mind drift back to the very first light in the world. Long, long ago, when people only had small fires to keep the shadows away, they faced big, scary things. The night was cold, the food sometimes ran out. Things happened that they could not stop, like bad storms or a sickness that hurt their friends. When the world feels too big and too fast, people start to look for a secret key. They look for one simple answer, one easy place to put all the bad feelings. This is the hidden force we will follow tonight, the gentle but powerful urge to find a scapegoat. Relax, breathe deep, and let this ancient story of blame, comfort, and human nature begin. First, fear, under old stars. The very first people did not know about science or tiny germs. They only knew their small world. If someone got sick, or the mighty river suddenly stopped giving them fish, the people felt great fear. This fear was sharp and heavy, like a cold rock in the stomach. They had no one to ask why the bad thing came. They did not want to think that bad things just happened by chance. They needed a story to make the world feel safe again, a story that gave the darkness a face. This is the origin of the blame game. It starts when a person's mind looks for a simple line connecting the bad event to an easy target. It starts with the softest question, who did this to us? The simple answer they found was to blame someone outside their circle. This is the oldest part of history, long before written words. They looked for a person who looked a little different, or acted a little strange, maybe someone who lived on the edge of the camp. They said, that person must be the reason the rain stopped. This felt good for a moment. It brought the community closer because they all had one thing to point at together. This act gave them back a feeling of control, even if it was just a pretend feeling. The quiet anger moved away from the unknown bad thing and landed right on one easy person. The meaning of this action is deep in how our minds work. Our brains like simple paths. They hate messy answers. When life feels too big, the brain says, find the shortest way to an answer. Blaming one person is the shortest way. It is a quick comfort for a mind that is tired and afraid. We want to know why we hurt, and we want to know it now. The person who is blamed is not really the cause of the problem, but they become the holder of the group's pain. They carry the heavy feeling so the rest of the group can go back to sleep. What it shows us is that the need for a scapegoat is a kind of gentle old medicine for fear. It shows that people would rather believe a simple lie than face a hard, messy truth. If you say a storm came because the sky is mad, there is nothing you can do. But if you say a storm came because your strange neighbour did a bad dance, you can stop the bad dance and feel safe again. It is a soft trick that the mind plays on itself to make the world feel predictable, like a gentle clock that always ticks the same way. This ancient trick still happens today. The connection to today is right here, even when we have all the science. When the news is fast and scary, or when the cost of food goes up, that old feeling wakes up. We want a name and a face for the problem. Maybe we blame a whole group of people we never met. Or maybe we blame a leader. We carry a memory of the strange, quiet ruin, which reminds us that blaming someone is a very old human habit. We see the patterns of ancient fear in our modern world, and the gentle glow of the computer screen sometimes hides the same old anger. The reflection must be a soft whisper tonight. Try to think about the last time you felt worried about a big thing you could not fix, like a sickness or a money worry. Did you look for someone easy to blame? Did it feel good for a moment? We must be gentle with this old part of ourselves. It is a quiet urge to find comfort, but true comfort comes from facing the dark without needing a villain. Close your eyes and let the ancient glow of that first fire remind you to look only for peace inside. Cities that vanished at night. Imagine cities that stood strong for many years, full of people and noise, only to be found quiet and covered in dust later. These lost cities did not always fall in a big battle. Sometimes they just slowly vanished overnight. This happens when people lose trust and forget how to work together. If the leaders start to blame the simple farmer for the lack of water, instead of fixing the well, the whole city starts to break. The energy that should have been used for building is wasted on angry whispering. This silent sickness of fear is a huge part of the city's origin of collapse. In the deep history of cities like the Mayans or the people of the Indus Valley, we see a pattern. When the food or water problem started, the people looked inside their walls for a witch or a strange family to blame. They would make the strange family leave, hoping this one act would bring back the rain or make the sun shine again. This gave them an easy way out of the hard work of truly saving the city. It was easier to make one small group carry the weight of the city's slow end than to admit everyone was struggling together. The search for a scapegoat became more important than the search for a solution. The meaning of these vanished cities is a quiet lesson for us. It teaches that when a group starts to fear itself, it is lost. Blaming the minorities or the edge-dwellers is a poison that eats away at the strong walls of a community. The energy of blame is a false power. It feels strong when you point your finger, but it makes the group weak in the face of a real problem, like a drought or a fire. The true strength of a city is its ability to share the blame, to say, "We all made mistakes, let's fix them." What it shows us is a simple formula for slow, silent ruin. The more the blame is focused on one small group, the less the main group has to face the truth about its mistakes. When the leader points to the tailor and says, "He stole the rain," everyone can relax for a moment. But the tailor did not steal the rain. The rain is still gone. The city keeps getting drier while they spend time chasing a simple lie. It shows us that fear of the truth is a main reason why civilizations vanish overnight. The connection to today's news is clear. When a company fails or a big plan goes wrong, people quickly look for the one person to fire. They say, "It was his fault," and they close the book. This is like the old city blaming the farmer. It stops the bad feeling and lets everyone else feel safe. We see the quiet ruin of trust when people refuse to look at the whole system of errors. They prefer the soft comfort of a single head to place the crown of failure upon. The final reflection is about building strong inner walls. You must look for the complicated, gentle truth in your own life, instead of the easy blame. When something bad happens, ask yourself, is this one person's fault or is the world just complicated? Do not let the small whisper of blame steal your inner peace. Like the ancient cities, your mind is strong only if you let the truth live there. Breathe deep and choose to look at the whole picture, not just the single scapegoat. Simple symbols carved in stone. The need to blame starts deep in the heart, but it becomes real when we can see it. This is where simple symbols come into the story. Long ago, if a group decided that a certain family was the cause of their bad luck, they needed a quick way to remind everyone. They would carve a simple picture onto a stone or draw a strange mark on the outside of that family's hut. This was the origin of marking the minority. The mark was a quiet rule that said, "Keep away from this place. The bad feeling lives here." The symbol made the blame easy to see, even for small children, making the scapegoat idea feel very strong and real. We can trace the gentle history of these marking symbols from the first cave drawings to the present day. In early European towns, when fear of sickness grew, people would paint a red X on a door to mark the infected house. Later, this idea changed into different shapes for different people. Sometimes it was a specific colour of clothing or a certain patch you had to wear. The symbols always do the same job. They make the difference easy to spot. This simple visual cue lets the main group feel clean and safe just by looking at the symbol and knowing they do not carry it. The meaning of the symbol is that it acts as a shortcut for a tired mind. The mind sees the symbol and does not need to think about the person wearing it. It only sees the mark of blame. The mark removes the need for true human connection, making the person beneath the symbol disappear. It is a way to make a person into a quiet object, easy to hate and easy to move away from. This is why symbols are such a powerful tool for finding the scapegoat. They turn deep, messy fear into a simple, flat picture. What it shows us about human nature is how much we trust our eyes. A gentle, glowing symbol, even if it is a sign of sadness, draws our attention. The symbol is stronger than the person. It shows that leaders have always known that if they want to move blame, they must first create a clear visual label. By making the other easy to see and identify, the group's fear of the unknown turns into a solid shared anger against the visible scapegoat. This is an ancient habit that repeats when things get hard. The connection to today is found in the quick, small symbols we use online, or the short labels we give to groups of people in the news. A simple hashtag, or a certain phrase, can act like the old heretics on a door. It says, "This person is dangerous," or "This group is the problem." We see the recurring motif of the glowing rune in every time period, showing that our desire to label and separate is still very strong when we feel afraid. We look for the easy, visible cue to know who is safe and who must carry the quiet ruin of our problems. The final reflection is to close your eyes and ask yourself, what are the symbols you carry inside? Do you have an invisible mark you put on people who are different from you? The goal is to see the person, not the symbol. Take a deep, gentle breath and let the soft light of understanding make all the old, hard symbols disappear. Rest now and let the gentle truth of true human connection fill your mind with peace. Quiet objects left by old hands. Sometimes the fear of the unknown was so great that people did not blame a person, but an object. The quiet objects left by old hands were often charms, broken tools, or small strange figures made of clay. These objects became the first holders of the blame. If the hunt went bad, the hunter might throw an arrow that did not fly straight into the fire, saying, "This faulty arrow stole our luck." This was the origin of redirecting anger to an easy thing, instead of facing the simple truth of a hard hunt or a bad decision. It felt easier to destroy the object than to fix the mistake. The gentle history of these blame objects shows a quiet need for ritual. Ancient people in Europe and the Near East would sometimes bury a jar of broken things under a field that failed to grow food. They believed this act of burying the bad luck jar would cleanse the land. The jar and its contents were the scapegoat for the poor soil or the lack of knowledge about farming. It was a physical act of moving the problem away. This gave them a feeling of control, a sense that they had done something to fix the bad luck before the next planting season. The meaning is simple. Humans want a place to put their shame and failure. When a tribe fails to prepare for winter, the shame is great and heavy. But if they can point to a special hidden stone or a small carved god and say that God was angry, the shame is suddenly lighter. The blame object acts like a silent friend that carries all the negative feelings. It allows the group to say, "We did everything right, but this special object or force made us fail." This is a quiet, soft way to protect the group's self-image. What it shows us is that the need for a scapegoat is older than the need for a human villain. We first practiced this trick on sticks and stones, giving them the power to absorb our bad luck. This practice shows how much we need the feeling of cleansing and starting fresh. The destruction of the object, whether by fire or burial, creates a powerful feeling of a clean break. It demonstrates that the problem is solved because the blame has been physically removed from the world. The connection to modern times is subtle but strong. Think about a simple computer that crashes. We curse the machine, we hit the keyboard, or we buy a new one saying, "The old machine was the problem." The machine is the scapegoat for our own lack of backups or our mistake in clicking a bad link. We see the recurring motif of the quiet ruin in every broken device we discard, trying to throw away the failure with the faulty object. We need to physically separate ourselves from the problem to feel safe and clear in our minds. The final reflection is a gentle check on how you treat things that break or plans that fail. Do you blame the car, the computer, or the lost keys for your bad mood? Or can you gently accept the simple truth that things and plans sometimes fail? Breathe deep and remember that the object is only an object. Do not let it hold your inner peace. Let all the old objects of blame stay buried and quiet, and rest in the truth of the present moment. Easy tales of big empires. The urge to blame did not stop with quiet objects. It grew to shape the biggest groups of all, big empires. In the easy tales of empires like Rome or ancient Egypt, leaders quickly learned that blaming an enemy outside the border was a great way to keep people from fighting each other. If the emperor said, "Our gold is gone because of the people in the next valley," the people would stop asking, "Why is our emperor so rich while we are poor?" This trick of pointing the finger outward is the origin of using the scapegoat to unify a large, often unhappy group. The gentle history of this empire trick is very old. When the Roman Empire grew too large and hard to manage, the blame shifted from outside invaders to people inside who followed a new, strange religion. Early Christians who refused to worship the Roman gods became an easy target. When a great fire happened in Rome, the leaders told the people it was the Christians who did this. This was a simple lie that gave a quick answer to a complex, scary event. It made the rest of the Romans feel safe and unified in their anger, even as their city burned. The meaning of this is that the bigger the group, the easier the scapegoat must be to spot. The leaders do not want people to think about the complicated problems of tax, money, or power. They want one simple, visible villain. When everyone is looking at the villain, they do not look at the leader. The blame trick is a gentle curtain pulled across a broken stage. It is a way for a crumbling empire to pretend it is still strong by showing it can still punish someone, anyone, for the things that go wrong. What it shows us is a lesson about power and distraction. When an empire is weak, it becomes very loud about who is to blame. It shows that the true job of a successful scapegoat is not just to carry the blame, but to distract the majority from seeing their own government's mistakes. The loudest finger-pointing is often a sign of the deepest trouble in the very centre of the power structure. This is an ancient habit that is as common as a warm sunset in the history of every big nation. The connection to today's political talk is everywhere. When a country has a problem with jobs or healthcare, the leaders may quickly point to immigrants or people from other countries. They tell the easy tales that say, if we just remove them, all our problems will disappear. This is the same old Roman trick. We see the recurring motif of the quiet ruin in the heart of every nation that uses this easy blame. The true strength of a nation comes from facing its own faults, not from finding a simple villain. The final reflection is to ask yourself, when you hear big, simple answers to big, hard problems, do you believe them? Does the story feel too easy? Be gentle with yourself, but be awake. Let the soft, slow history of these empires remind you to look at the whole picture. Do not let the loud voices of blame steal your inner quiet. Choose to rest tonight in the peace that comes from seeking the truth, no matter how complicated it may be. Whisper forgotten goat myths. Our deep journey into blame leads us to a word that means goat and escape. Scapegoat. This is a true origin story from the gentle myths of ancient people, like the early Israelites. Long, long ago, once a year, the people would gather two real goats. One goat was for sacrifice to a higher power, and the other was kept alive. The high priest would place his hands on the living goat's head and quietly whisper all the sins, all the bad thoughts, and all the mistakes of the people onto the animal. This gentle history shows a beautiful, sad ritual. After the sins were placed on its head, this special goat was dressed with a soft red thread and led out of the busy camp into the wild, quiet desert. The goat would wander away, carrying all the people's worries, shame and blame far away, never to return. The camp was then clean. The people felt a sudden, huge relief. This was the most complete, perfect scapegoat, an innocent animal chosen to carry the weight of a whole community's darkness. It made the people feel forgiven without having to fix all their mistakes themselves. The meaning of this ritual is a powerful idea of transfer. The people wanted to take the bad feeling, which is not physical, and put it into a physical thing they could see leaving. This gentle transfer is a wish to separate the mistake from the person who made it. It means, the mistake is not me, it is out there with the goat. This ritual gave the people a powerful, shared experience of cleansing. It was a kind of gentle, ancient therapy for the whole group, allowing them a fresh start. What it shows us is that we have always wanted a clean slate. The act of watching the scapegoat disappear into the distance is a powerful visual promise that the past is gone and the future is clean. It shows that the need for forgiveness is deep, but the easy way to get it is through this magical seeming transfer of blame. The goat, an animal of no choice, became the quiet hero of the community's fear. This is an ancient habit of the heart, to find the quickest way to relief. The connection to today is found when we see the media or a group of friends focus all their anger on one celebrity or one figure. That person becomes the modern goat, carrying the public's need to feel morally clean. We watch them go into the desert of public shaming, and we feel a quiet relief. We see the recurring motif of the glowing rune on the gentle ruined walls of our old habits. We still want that clean slate, that fresh start, without doing the hard, quiet work of changing our ways. The final reflection is a quiet question about your own burdens. What is the fear or mistake you wish you could put on the head of a gentle goat? Know that the true cleansing does not come from sending the blame away, but from accepting it and learning the gentle lesson. Let the old goat myth stay in the past. Breathe deep, accept your own past with peace, and know that you are safe and clean right here. Join stories from far lands. The simple idea of sending the blame away did not just stay in one place. It grew to join stories from far lands all over the globe. This shows that the need for a scapegoat is a truly human thing, not just a cultural one. In the early villages of West Africa, if the community faced a sudden, strange death, they might blame the oldest woman in the village, saying she used secret bad magic. In parts of ancient China, bad fortune was sometimes blamed on wandering scholars or strangers who passed through the town. The gentle history of these global stories shows a common origin pattern. When a group feels weak, it seeks a target that is already weak. The old woman is an easy target because she's not strong enough to fight back. The stranger is an easy target because he has no local friends to protect him. This selection of the weakest person to hold the group's biggest problems is a quiet, sad sign of a community in deep fear. The fear makes them choose the easiest way out, which is always the cruelest path. The meaning of this global pattern is that fear works the same way in every human heart. Whether you're in a small hut in the mountains or a big home in a city, when you feel worried, your mind looks for a simple answer. The scapegoat is a language spoken by all worried people. It is a way to say, the problem is not the bad farming, or the river that is dry, or the leader who is unkind. The problem is this person who does not look like us. What it shows us is that all people, no matter where they are from, share this ancient habit of projection. Projection is when you take a bad feeling from inside yourself and throw it onto someone else. It is a gentle, but false, comfort. The stories from far lands show us that this comfort is global, a universal trick of the troubled mind. The stories are quiet mirrors, showing that every community in history has struggled to face its own internal mistakes. The connection to today is found in the way we talk about nations and groups we do not know. We make them into simple villains in our own minds, telling ourselves that all our country's problems are caused by their country. This is the global version of the village blaming the stranger. We see the recurring motif of the quiet ruin in every newspaper headline that uses an easy label to describe a complex group. We still prefer the comfort of a simple enemy over the hard work of understanding. The final reflection is a quiet journey across the world. Send your gentle thoughts to all the people in all the villages who were wrongly blamed. When you feel the urge to blame a group or a nation far away, stop and breathe deep. Let the soft light of the glowing rune remind you to look for understanding, not separation. The whole world is connected, and we all share the same simple, worried heart. Rest now in that quiet knowledge. Calm patterns in the sky. Before science, people looked up and saw calm patterns in the sky but saw chaos below. They thought the stars and planets were gods, and that the gods were angry when bad things happened on Earth. If a comet, a star with a tail, appeared, it was a sure sign that bad luck was coming. This belief is the quiet origin of connecting cosmic events to earthly blame. They needed to find a human reason for the celestial warning. The sky was the messenger, but the scapegoat had to be a neighbour. The gentle history of this is found in many cultures. Astronomers who study the stars used to be advisors to kings. If a comet appeared, the king would not wait for the comet to pass. He would quickly find a visible enemy, a prisoner, a different group, or a minority, and punish them. This was meant to show the angry sky gods that the king was taking action. It was a fast way to move the massive fear of a whole community onto one small target, using the stars as an excuse. This ancient habit brought peace to the people, but not to the victim. The meaning is that the bigger the fear, the more distant the real cause. The sky's the biggest, most distant cause of all. By taking that huge cosmic fear and reducing it to one local person, the problem shrinks down to a manageable size. You cannot stop a comet, but you can stop the person you have blamed for the comet. The scapegoat is a shrinking device for fear, turning the vast, unfixable chaos of the universe into a small, fixable human problem. This is a gentle trick of survival. What it shows us is how desperate people are for a cause and effect that they can control. We do not like accidents. We do not like things happen. When the world feels too random, the mind creates a false logic. Comet appears, bad neighbour is punished, so bad luck goes away. This quiet, soft logic is what allows us to sleep at night. The sky, with its beautiful, calm patterns, was sadly used as the largest and most dramatic excuse to find a simple human villain. The connection to today is when a big, scary global event happens, like a change in the climate or a financial crisis. Instead of facing the large, complex truth, people look for a single bad apple or a single foreign group to blame. We see the recurring motif of the quiet ruin in every political discussion that uses fear of the unknown to point a finger at a visible group. The modern scapegoat, like the ancient one, is still used to shrink the world's problems down to a single human face. The final reflection is to look up at the quiet night sky and feel the peaceful vastness. Remember that the stars are only gas and light, moving in soft, predictable ways. They are not angry. Do not let the massive fears of the world land on a single, easy target in your mind. Breathe deep, accept the size of the universe, and rest in the knowledge that you are safe from the old blame trick of the sky. Hidden forces. All around, the Middle Ages brought new kinds of fear. People were afraid of hidden forces all around them. Sickness they could not see, sudden crop failures they could not understand, and the deep, dark woods that hid secrets. This massive, invisible fear is the quiet origin of the witch hunts. When the fear is everywhere and has no face, the people will create a face for it. The scapegoat became the person who was thought to use secret, evil magic. The gentle history of this time shows that the witch was often a wise woman who knew about herbs and nature, or a local person who did not fit in. When a child became sick, or the cow stopped giving milk, the people did not blame the sickness or the bad feed. They blamed the woman who lived alone. This was an easy answer, a way to make the invisible problem visible and fixable. By pointing to the witch, the community was unified in a shared purpose, finding and fighting the hidden force. The meaning of the witch is that she represented all the things the community could not control. She was the simple answer to the biggest questions. Why is life so hard? Why do we suffer? The witch was the perfect scapegoat because she was seen as acting in secret, making it impossible to prove her innocence. This made the blame simple and satisfying for the fearful crowd. She held the terror of the unseen, allowing the majority to sleep soundly, believing the danger had been found and trapped. What it shows us is that fear of the unknown is the most powerful fuel for the scapegoat engine. The more vague the threat, the more specific the target must be. It shows that people would rather believe in a gentle myth of bad magic than face the reality of high child death rates and poor medical knowledge. The ancient habit of moving the internal fear to an external human target repeats softly in the smoke of the witch trials. The connection to today is found when we see people talk about big, hidden conspiracies. They blame a secret group of powerful people for all the world's problems. This is the modern, gentle echo of the witch hunt. We see the recurring motif of the glowing rune on the gentle, ruined walls of fear. The truth is often messy and boring, but the story of the powerful minority acting in secret is a much better, simpler story to tell before bed. The final reflection is to check your own feelings for any hidden forces you might fear. Do you believe there is a secret, powerful group responsible for your small worries? Breathe deep and know that the real magic is just the gentle, daily work of a life. Let the old fear of the witch melt away, and rest in the calm knowledge that the world is a simple, peaceful place when you stop looking for the secret villain. Truth and gentle witch myth. It is important to mix the truth and gentle myth of this time. The truth is that life was hard, winters were long, and medicine was not effective. The myth is that one single person could cause all that hardship with a secret spell. The need for the scapegoat became so powerful that it created its own gentle story. If you believed in the witch, you could feel powerful, because you could fight her. If you only believed in sickness, you felt weak. This simple choice is the deep origin of why the witch hunt lasted so long. The gentle history shows that the stories of witches were not always scary. Sometimes they were almost sad. A whole village would agree to the myth, creating a shared fantasy of control. They would gather and talk about the strange woman's cat or her unusual garden. These stories became their gentle armour against the crushing reality of their lives. The witch, as the scapegoat, was a necessary character in the village's collective story, the one who made the main characters, the rest of the village, feel good and right. The meaning of this ritual is that the scapegoat serves a dual purpose. They carry the blame, and they create a story that is emotionally satisfying. The story of the witch is much better than the story of everyone is suffering for no reason. The fear of the unseen sickness is turned into the gentle drama of good versus evil, with the village as the good hero. This provides a great sense of comfort and meaning, a warm feeling that they are living an important life, fighting an important fight. What it shows us is that we are willing to accept a gentle, harmless lie if it helps us manage a big, sharp pain. The belief in the witch myth was a psychological defense mechanism, a quiet, soft wall built around the community's heart. It protected them from feeling powerless. This ancient habit shows that the human mind will always choose an easy emotional answer over a complicated, painful truth. The connection to today is found in the quick, loud news stories about a person or company that is suddenly blamed for a large, slow-moving problem. The news creates a clear villain, and we all feel better, as if the problem is now solved by the simple act of pointing and shaming. We see the recurring motif of the glowing rune on the gentle, ruined walls of our old habits. We still love the easy, simple story of good versus evil, even if the truth is messy and requires no single villain. The final reflection is a gentle reminder that every story has many sides. When you see a story that makes one person look completely bad, ask, what is the hard truth that this easy story is hiding? Breathe deep and let the complex, gentle truth be your comfort. Do not let the easy myth steal your peace. Rest now and find strength in the quiet acceptance of life's beautiful and messy reality. See lines that cross many years. As we move through history, we start to see lines that cross many years. The lines of the scapegoat run straight from the ancient goat in the desert to the medieval witch, and most clearly to the Jewish minority in Europe. This is the sad origin of a 1,000-year-old pattern of blaming the same group for every kind of large problem, from the Black Death to the price of bread. This long, deep line shows how powerful an idea becomes when it is passed down from one frightened generation to the next. The gentle history is hard, but it shows the scapegoat in its purest form. During the terrible Black Death in the 14th century, people needed a simple answer for a massive invisible killer. The easy lie spread that Jewish people had poisoned the wells. This story was completely false, but it was simple, and it gave the frightened Christian majority a clear, visible target for their terror. It was easier to blame a neighbour than to accept that God was punishing them, or that tiny, unseen germs were the cause. The meaning of this line in history is that the group that is blamed becomes a kind of gentle, silent anchor for all of society's problems. Whenever things go wrong, the harvest fails, the king needs more money, or a new sickness arrives, the easy pre-made answer is ready. The community does not have to invent a new villain. They just point to the old one. The scapegoat is always waiting, ready to absorb the new wave of fear. This is the comfort of a reliable, constant villain. What it shows us is the quiet, soft power of anti-redundancy and blame. The history does not need to repeat the same reason for the blame, it only needs to repeat the same target. It shows that once a group has been successfully established as the easy answer, the brain's lazy part will always go back to that simple path. This ancient habit is why the line of persecution is so long and so straight, running like a dark, gentle river through time. The connection to today is found in any quick negative generalization about a group of people. They are all like that, or it is always their fault. We see the recurring motif of the glowing rune on the gentle, ruined walls of our old habits. The mind still seeks the path of the least resistance. It is much easier to keep using the old simple label than to stop and see the individual human under the weight of history's oldest blame. The final reflection is a quiet moment of deep empathy for the weight of this historical line. Think about the heavy burden of being the historical scapegoat. Breathe deep and let the simple, gentle wish for peace wash over the long, dark line of history. Resolve to see the individual first. Rest now, and let the quiet truth of human dignity be your final comfort. Explain what the lines mean. We must now explain what the lines mean when we see them. They are not lines of true fault. They are lines of simple fear. The line is drawn around a group that is different in some gentle way. Maybe they pray in a different way, speak a slightly different language, or wear a different kind of simple clothing. The line is a quiet invention to make the majority feel more unified and safe. The origin of the line is the need for a simple boundary. We are inside the line, safe and good. They are outside the line, dangerous and bad. The gentle history shows that the lines were sometimes physical, like the walls of a ghetto, a closed-off part of a city where the minority was forced to live. Other times, the lines were laws that said where they could work or what jobs they could have. These lines kept the scapegoat visible and separated. The separate living space meant that the majority did not have to know the blamed group as real people. They only had to know them as the simple idea of the other. The meaning of these lines is that distance makes the blame easy. When you do not know a person, it is easy to believe the bad stories about them. The lines, physical or legal, ensure that the people who are not blamed never have to share a true, quiet cup of tea with the people who are. The distance maintains the simple, powerful lie of the scapegoat, that all the problems are far away, behind that wall, in that other quiet place. What it shows us is the simple power of separation in maintaining control. The leaders knew that if the majority spent too much time with the scapegoat group, they would realize they were just like them. They would find they had the same gentle worries and the same love for their children. The line prevents this quiet discovery. It is an ancient habit of the powerful to use separation as a tool for simple, effective blame. The connection to today is found in the invisible lines we draw in our own minds. We separate people by the kind of news they watch, the places they live, or the political ideas they hold. We see the recurring motif of the glowing rune on the gentle, ruined walls of our old habits. We still use these mental lines to turn a complicated person into a simple, easy villain, so that we do not have to do the hard work of understanding them. The final reflection is a gentle invitation to erase the lines in your mind. Breathe deep and try to see the person right in front of you without any invisible wall between you. Let the soft light of the glowing rune remind you that all people share the same gentle heart. Rest now and choose the hard, quiet work of connection over the easy comfort of separation. Draw soft picture links. The lines of blame were not enough. The story needed to be kept alive. So people began to draw soft picture links, pictures that showed the scapegoat as strange, bad, or even half animal. In the gentle history of European art and pamphlets, simple pictures were made of the Jewish minority with strange features, often holding bags of money. This visual trick is the powerful origin of the stereotype. The gentle history of these pictures is sad because the picture became more real than the person. A person in a village might know their Jewish neighbour as a kind shoemaker, but if they see a picture showing a Jew as a greedy monster, the monster picture wins in their mind. The soft picture link is a shortcut for the brain, an easy way to move past the complicated truth of the real person. The picture allows the viewer to feel good about hating the simple idea in the drawing. The meaning of the stereotype is that it simplifies a minority group into one easy flat symbol of the whole group's fear. The picture takes away the individual name, the gentle laugh, and the unique story. It makes every person in that group seem the same, all bad, all greedy, or all strange. This is the ultimate comfort for the scapegoat hunter. A guarantee that no matter who they point at in that group, they are pointing at a simple villain, not a complicated human. What it shows us is that visual simplicity is a key to lasting blame. A gentle, simple drawing is much faster to absorb and remember than a long, complex argument. The picture works instantly, creating a feeling of disgust or fear before the mind even has time to think. This ancient habit shows the soft power of art and image to make the group's fear feel justified by creating an ugly-looking villain that is easy to hate. The connection to today is found in how people use simple, often angry memes or cartoons online to talk about political or social groups they dislike. These are the new soft picture links. They are fast, ugly, and designed to simplify and blame. We see the recurring motif of the glowing rune on the gentle, ruined walls of our old habits. We still prefer the quick, simple villain picture over the slow, peaceful reality of a complex person. The final reflection is to guard your eyes and your heart from the simple picture. When you see a quick image meant to make you hate a group, stop and breathe deep. Ask, what truth is this simple picture trying to hide? Let the soft light of the glowing rune remind you to look for the full, gentle face of the human being, not the flat, angry picture of the scapegoat. Rest now and choose complexity over comfort. Bring old pictures to today. We must now bring old pictures to today to see that the camera has not changed the trick. It only made it faster. In the early 20th century, new forms of media like simple posters and early films continued to use the old simple stereotypes, but now with a sharp modern clarity. This is the gentle origin of modern propaganda. The ancient habit of blaming the scapegoat was simply dressed in new, clean clothes. The gentle history shows that the simple, flat pictures made of the minority were now shared with millions of people at once. During times of war or economic struggle, the old picture links were used to blame groups like immigrants for taking jobs or people of a different nation for starting the fighting. The goal was the same as the medieval pamphlet: to create a simple, unified hatred so the people would not question their own leaders. The meaning of this new speed is that the scapegoat idea can now infect a whole nation almost overnight. The soft picture links no longer take weeks to draw and share. They take seconds. This speed makes the simple lie feel like the truth before the complicated truth has time to arrive. The simple stereotype, once a slow rumour, is now a flash of light that captures the tired mind and holds it in place with simple, angry clarity. What it shows us is that technology only speeds up, but does not change. The fundamental ancient habit of the heart. The basic human need for an easy villain remains. It shows that we are all, sadly, very open to the comfort of the simple lie, especially when the truth is scary. The quick, clear image of the scapegoat is the gentle medicine that everyone accepts when they are suffering from fear of the unknown. The connection to today is found in the quickness of social media, where a simple image or a small angry video can go around the world in minutes. This speed is the new power of the scapegoat. We see the recurring motif of the glowing rune on the gentle, ruined walls of our old habits. The speed of the new picture only makes the need for a simple answer feel more urgent, drawing us back to the comfort of a simple villain. The final reflection is a gentle check on your digital habits. When you scroll through the quick, bright world of the internet, do you let the simple pictures of blame pass right into your heart? Breathe deep and let the soft light of the glowing rune remind you to slow down. Rest now and choose the slow, peaceful thought over the fast, angry image. Share the first clear revelations. Now we must share the first clear revelations about why this trick works so well. The first quiet revelation is that the scapegoat is always an illusion of control. When the people are starving, they have no control over the food. But when they blame the stranger, they feel powerful because they can control the stranger. This is the simple, powerful origin of the comfort of blame. It replaces real powerlessness with a feeling of gentle, false power. The gentle history of the world's wisdom traditions has always warned against this illusion. Wise thinkers in every age have said that when you point your finger, you must look at the three fingers pointing back at you. The illusion of control is the true scapegoat in this story. It is the gentle lie that allows the community to ignore their own deep flaws. The community can say, "We are perfect, but that person made the mistake." This is the first clear, soothing truth. The meaning of this illusion is that the scapegoat is a mirror. The flaws that the majority projects onto the minority are often the flaws they fear most in themselves. The group that is blamed for being greedy is often a group that feels its own government is greedy. The simple villain is just a reflection of the collective unacknowledged shame. The illusion is a necessary gentle shield against the pain of self-reflection. What it shows us is that blame is always an inside job. The problem starts in the heart of the majority. not in the quiet village of the minority. It shows that the true act of courage is to turn the mirror inward, even when the truth is painful and messy. The ancient habit of finding a simple villain is a gentle way of avoiding the hard, peaceful work of self-improvement. The connection to today is found in every moment we feel strongly that the problem is out there. We see the recurring motif of the glowing rune on the gentle, ruined walls of our old habits. The gentle, false power of blame always feels so good, so right, and so quick. The real revelation is that the power to fix the problem is inside us, not in the removal of a scapegoat. The final reflection is a quiet journey into your own heart. Breathe deep and ask, what am I trying to control by blaming someone else? Let the soft light of the glowing rune remind you that you already have all the power you need, the power of gentle self-acceptance. Rest now, and let the illusion of the scapegoat fade away like a dream. Lift eyes to quiet. Cosmic wonder. We must again lift eyes to quiet cosmic wonder, to see the vastness of what people tried to blame. The stars and the universe are neutral. They do not care about human mistakes. The origin of blaming the minority for a bad comet or an eclipse is the most poetic example of our need to simplify. The group cannot handle the idea of a universe without justice, so they invent a small local injustice to fix. The gentle history of science is a quiet move away from this blame. As people learned more about the stars, they stopped blaming the Jew or the witch for the comet. The simple truth of gravity and light replaced the simple lie of the scapegoat. This is a gentle, peaceful revolution. The simple facts of the universe make the human need for a simple villain look sad and small. The meaning of this is that truth is the enemy of the scapegoat. The simple facts of science are complicated, but they are also gentle and neutral. They offer no villain, only a quiet explanation. The scapegoat can only live in the dark space where fear meets ignorance. When the light of clear knowledge shines, the simple villain fades away like a morning mist. What it shows us is that complexity is a great protection against blame. When a problem is understood to be massive, slow-moving, and caused by 10,000 factors, like climate change or a global economy, the mind cannot easily pin it on one person. It shows that the greatest peace comes from accepting complexity instead of seeking the simple, angry answer. The connection to today is found in how people resist gentle scientific facts in favour of a simple political blame. It is still easier to blame a single political party or a single country for a complex global issue than to accept the massive neutral truth. We see the recurring motif of the glowing rune on the gentle ruined walls of our old habits. The minority is always offered up as the simple sacrifice to a complex reality. The final reflection is a peaceful journey to the stars. Breathe deep and accept the great, simple complexity of the universe. Do not let the small local noise of blame steal your cosmic peace. The stars are not angry, and they do not need a sacrifice. Rest now, and let the gentle truth of the neutral universe be your great comfort. Watch history. Repeat in soft circles. It is a quiet, sad truth that we must watch history repeat in soft circles. The story of the scapegoat does not end. It only spins back to the start with a new name. The Dreyfus affair in 19th century France is a perfect modern example. A Jewish captain in the army, Alfred Dreyfus, was falsely blamed for selling military secrets. This was a simple lie used to distract the public from the deep, complex problems within the French military itself. The gentle history of the Dreyfus case shows the modern version of the old trick. The evidence was confusing and complex, but the public did not want complex. They wanted a clear villain. The simple, easy answer, blaming the Jewish captain, was a comforting choice for a nation struggling with its own identity. The scapegoat was a distraction. A bright, angry light turned on one man so the majority could not see the quiet corruption in the highest offices. The meaning of this repeating circle is that the need for a villain is not about the villain at all. It is a constant need for social cohesion. By all agreeing that Dreyfus was the problem, the people were saying, "We're all good French citizens together." The scapegoat unifies the fearful group, creating a powerful feeling of shared identity built on shared blame. What it shows us is that when a group feels uncertain or weak, it will always reach for the simple, available target. The story repeats not because the people are bad, but because the ancient habit of seeking simple comfort is so powerful. It shows that even a modern, educated country can easily fall back into the oldest trick of the tribe when its gentle sense of security is threatened. The connection to today is found in any high-profile political scandal, where one person is quickly and loudly blamed for a problem that took many people to create. We see the recurring motif of the glowing rune on the gentle, ruined walls of our old habits. The goal is always to find the single, simple head that can be offered up for the whole system's quiet failure. The final reflection is a gentle check on where you get your sense of belonging. Is your group unified by a common love or a common gentle dislike of a single scapegoat? Breathe deep and remember the story of Dreyfus. Let the soft light of the glowing rune remind you to find a peaceful sense of self that does not depend on blaming someone else. Rest now in quiet, simple truth. Open doors to hidden knowledge. We now open doors to hidden knowledge from the world of psychology. The scientists have given a name to the gentle mind trick, cognitive bias. This is the simple truth that our brain prefers shortcuts. The brain's shortcut is to blame a person, an easy villain, rather than a complicated system. This bias is the quiet origin of why the scapegoat always works. Our minds are designed to seek the simple answer. The gentle history of psychology shows that the brain uses a tool called the fundamental attribution error. This means we see a stranger's bad luck and quickly say, that happened because that person is bad or lazy. But when bad luck happens to us, we say that happened because the world is unfair. The scapegoat is the result of applying this error to a whole group. We blame their character, not the circumstances they face. The meaning of this bias is that the scapegoat is a necessary product of a tired brain. Thinking about complicated causes takes a lot of mental energy. It is exhausting. Blaming one person is quick and requires no energy. It gives the brain a gentle, immediate reward, the comfort of certainty. The scapegoat is, in a quiet way, a gift we give to our lazy, exhausted minds. What it shows us is that we are not mean people, we are just tired thinkers. The ancient habit of the scapegoat is an effort-saving device. It shows that the road to blame is paved with cognitive shortcuts, not pure hate. The hidden knowledge is that the blame trick is a side effect of a brain trying to conserve its gentle energy. The connection to today is found in the instant judgments we make about people we see on the news or online. We quickly label them without knowing their full story. We see the recurring motif of the glowing rune on the gentle, ruined walls of our old habits. The scapegoat is the simple, easy answer our tired, modern brains always reach for in the middle of a busy day. The final reflection is a gentle check on your mental energy. When you feel tired, do you make simple, quick judgments? Breathe deep and remember the cognitive bias. Let the soft light of the glowing rune remind you to be patient with others and with your own tired mind. Rest now and choose the gentle path of understanding over the quick shortcut of blame. Reach a peaceful high point. We now reach a peaceful high point by looking at the science of group behavior. Scientists have found that when people are put into groups, even random groups like red team and blue team, they instantly like their own group more and dislike the other group. This is called in-group bias, and it is the quiet origin of why the scapegoat is necessary. To feel good about your own group, you need to feel bad about the other group. The gentle history of these simple experiments shows that even children will quickly favour their own random team and blame the other team for simple mistakes. The scapegoat is not a person of choice, it is a necessity for the in-group. By pointing to the blue team as the problem, the red team feels a powerful, sudden and gentle lift in their self-worth. It is a shared emotional reward for the entire group. The meaning of this high point is that the scapegoat is, in a sad way, a giver of self-esteem. The target of blame gives the majority a feeling of moral superiority and gentle goodness. The scapegoat does the hard work of being the bad guy, so the majority can feel like the good guys. This quiet transaction is the secret engine that keeps the ancient habit running in every new generation. What it shows us is that we are willing to sacrifice truth for the comfort of high self-esteem. The simple act of blaming someone else is a powerful instant ego boost. The ancient habit shows that the scapegoat is not a sign of the other group's flaw, but a sign of our own group's gentle, deep insecurity. The biggest piece comes from not needing to use this trick. The connection to today is found in any passionate discussion, where the goal is not to find a solution, but to clearly identify the bad side. We see the recurring motif of the glowing rune on the gentle ruined walls of our old habits. The scapegoat is the simple, easy price we pay for the comfort of feeling morally superior. The final reflection is a gentle check on your own inner value. Do you feel good about yourself without needing to compare or blame others? Breathe deep and let the soft light of the glowing rune remind you that your value is whole and constant, and you do not need a scapegoat to feel worthy. Rest now, and find your belonging in the quiet truth of your own peaceful heart. Soothing answers and one question. We now close with soothing answers and one last question. The soothing answer is this: the need for a scapegoat is not a sign that you are a bad person. It is a sign that you are a normal person, struggling with the gentle, massive challenge of being human. The origin of the blame is fear, not hate. This gentle distinction is the final comfort we can offer tonight. The gentle history of this need shows that every single human culture, from the oldest cave to the newest city, has found this simple trick to manage its anxiety. The scapegoat is a universal, temporary medicine for the pain of the unknown. It is a sad, recurring symbol of our weakness, but also a symbol of our great need for comfort and peace. The meaning of all this history is that we now have a choice. We can choose to keep using the old, easy trick of the scapegoat, or we can choose the hard, quiet work of personal accountability. This is the gentle truth. We're all responsible for our own mistakes and the mistakes of our group. Blame does not disappear. It must be shared and accepted. What it shows us is that true power comes from accepting what is. The power to say, I made a mistake, or we failed, and no one is to blame but us. This quiet courage stops the repeating circle of history. This ancient habit of simple blame is only broken by the modern habit of gentle, full acceptance. The connection to today is found in the simple, everyday moments where we choose not to shift a small blame onto a spouse, a friend, or a colleague. We see the recurring motif of the glowing rune on the gentle, ruined walls of our old habits. The scapegoat is no longer needed when we take the small, brave step of owning our own story. The final reflection is the last gentle question for the night. What is the one small, quiet fear in your heart that you're trying to hide behind a scapegoat? Breathe deep. Accept that fear, and let the soft light of the glowing rune remind you to be gentle with yourself and everyone else. Rest now in the final, soothing answer. You are safe, and the blame is gone. New blame in a digital world. The story continues, even in our modern sleep. We now find new blame in a digital world. The internet and social media are the newest desert for the scapegoat. The speed of information means that an idea of blame can travel the globe faster than any sickness ever could. This speed is the gentle origin of modern mass shaming. The gentle history of the digital age shows that the old tricks work best when they are fastest. When a person makes a small, simple mistake online, a crowd of thousands can instantly turn them into a temporary villain. This person becomes the scapegoat for the crowd's frustration with the whole, messy digital world. The anger of millions lands softly, but heavily, on one single person. The meaning of the digital blame is that it is a shared emotional release. The people who participate feel a quick, strong sense of justice and moral high ground. The speed of the attack gives the brain the instant reward of feeling like a hero fighting a clear evil. This is the scapegoat acting as a quick, simple drug for the tired soul. What it shows us is that the speed of the modern world only magnifies the ancient habit. The technology does not create the blame. It only provides the fastest, easiest road for the old, tired urge to run free. It shows that the need for a simple villain is stronger than the simple truth of a person's complex life. The connection to today is found in every moment of online anger, where the minority or the individual is singled out for a problem that is universal. We see the recurring motif of the glowing rune on the gentle, ruined walls of our old habits. The gentle truth of the human being is lost in the bright, fast light of the simple digital blame. The final reflection is a gentle check on your digital finger. Do you join the loud, fast crowd, or do you stop and wait for the quiet, full story? Breathe deep and let the soft light of the glowing rune remind you that truth is slow and kind. Rest now, and let the chaos of the digital desert pass you by. The other in simple frames. In the modern world, the scapegoat is often placed in simple frames. This means a complex group, like all immigrants or a different political side, is placed into a small, simple picture. They are the cause of all high taxes, or they are all lazy. This simple frame is the gentle origin of political reductionism. It makes the minority easy to blame. The gentle history shows that the simple frame is a powerful tool for leaders. If the frame is simple, the message is easy to remember. A complex problem like the decline of an industry is a hard thing to explain. A simple frame that says, "It is the fault of the people who live in that other state," is easy. The simple frame makes the scapegoat easy to see and easy to hate, which is the easiest way to gather votes or power. The meaning of the simple frame is that it is a gentle lie of clarity. It gives people a false sense that they fully understand a massive problem in just a few seconds. This comfort of simple understanding is the true product that the scapegoat delivers. The simple frame removes all the complicated, messy colours of truth and leaves a stark, simple, black and white image of a villain. What it shows us is that the need for certainty is stronger than the need for truth. The simple frame is the final proof that the ancient habit of the scapegoat is about feeling certain that you are right. It shows that we will always prefer the simple, easy certainty of a lie over the gentle, peaceful uncertainty of the complex truth. The connection to today is found in every quick headline that uses an emotional word to describe a large group. We see the recurring motif of the glowing rune on the gentle, ruined walls of our old habits. The scapegoat is the simple, easy picture that is framed on the wall of our tired modern minds. The final reflection is a gentle check on the frames you use. Do you look at a group of people and see a complex picture, or a simple, easy frame? Breathe deep and remember that the quiet ruin of a simple frame is the loss of humanity. Rest now and choose the complex, gentle truth over the simple, easy blame. Soft lines of us and them. The scapegoat is always created by drawing soft lines of us and them. The lines are not made of stone. They are made of whispered words and shared anxieties. The simple difference is magnified until it becomes a giant wall. This gentle creation of an in-group and an out-group is the origin of all human conflict and the core engine of the scapegoat mechanism. The gentle history shows that the soft lines are always easy to cross at first. A person who belongs to the them group can easily move into the US group by adopting the same gentle habits or beliefs. But once the scapegoat mechanism is fully running, the lines become hard and sharp. The group of minority is then sealed off, and no amount of change can bring them back to the centre. The meaning of the lines is that they are a self-comfort tool. They make the us group feel better about themselves by making the them group seem worse. The simple line of separation gives the majority a feeling of purity and gentle goodness. The scapegoat is the dirt that the majority places outside the line to feel clean inside. What it shows us is that we do not blame people because they are bad. We blame them because we need the line. The line is necessary for our own gentle sense of group identity. The ancient habit shows that the scapegoat is not a sign of hate, but a sign of our deep, simple need to belong and to feel right. The connection to today is found in every time we use a simple, dividing label to describe people, rich versus poor, or coastal versus middle land. We see the recurring motif of the glowing rune on the gentle, ruined walls of our old habits. The scapegoat is the simple, easy product of our need for a clear, soft line of identity. The final reflection is a gentle look at your own group. Do you need a them to feel like an us? Breathe deep and remember that all the lines are soft and invented. Let the soft light of the glowing rune remind you to see the shared humanity beneath all the simple, invented lines. Rest now and find your gentle belonging in the great undivided world. Reaching the quiet truth. We are now reaching the quiet truth. The scapegoat is always an inside job. The problem that the majority fears is not the minority. It is the gentle, internal fear of economic loss, or the simple fear of losing control. The origin of the blame is found in our own closets and bank accounts, not in the scapegoat's home. The gentle history shows that the search for the scapegoat always rises when the economy falls. When people have less money, they are more afraid. This fear is a strong, heavy feeling that demands a simple answer. The blame is a quiet way to say, the reason I have less is not that the whole system is huge and slow, it is that they stole it. This projection of internal fear is the motor of the whole mechanism. The meaning of the quiet truth is that the scapegoat is the final, sad result of a lack of personal accountability. If we cannot admit our own greed or our own fear of failure, we must create a human figure to hold those bad feelings. The scapegoat is the person who keeps the rest of the group from having to look at their own simple, gentle shadow side. What it shows us is that we are willing to commit great injustice to maintain our own gentle, quiet sense of virtue. The ancient habit of the scapegoat is a protection against self-doubt and personal shame. It shows that the true act of courage is to face our own financial worries and our own internal flaws without needing a simple villain. The connection to today is found in every moment we talk about a problem with the word they instead of the word we. We see the recurring motif of the glowing rune on the gentle, ruined walls of our old habits. The scapegoat is the simple, easy answer to the hard, quiet truth that the greatest problem is always within the group itself. The final reflection is a gentle moment of self-honesty. What is the one quiet worry you have about money or success? Breathe deep and remember that the quiet truth is that this worry is normal and human. Do not give it a name and a face that belongs to someone else. Rest now and find your peace in accepting your own simple, gentle shadow. Final sweet dreams answer. This is the final sweet dreams answer. The scapegoat is a soft, deep whisper from our past, a voice that says, "You are not safe, and you must blame someone to survive." But we know that whisper is a gentle lie. The true answer is empathy. The cure for the old habit is to see the humanity in the person, not the simple symbol of the blame. The gentle history of all this fear leads to one clear lesson. The most powerful thing a person can do is to refuse to use the old trick, to look at the person who is being blamed and say, "I see you. You are not the problem." This simple, quiet act of human connection stops the whole ancient machine of the scapegoat. The meaning of this final answer is that peace is a choice. It is a gentle, daily decision to choose compassion over the quick comfort of judgment. The scapegoat is defeated when we see the complexity in every human heart, knowing that all people are just trying their best with the light they have. What it shows us is that the final form of human strength is gentle kindness. The ancient habit of the scapegoat is a sign of weakness. The modern habit of empathy is a sign of deep, quiet power. This is the quiet truth that lets us finally rest. The connection to today is found in every moment we choose to speak a soft word of understanding instead of a quick word of blame. We see the recurring motif of the glowing rune on the gentle, ruined walls of our old habits. The scapegoat fades completely when the whole world is seen as one simple, shared human heart. The final reflection is the greatest piece of all. Breathe deep now. Let the gentle truth of empathy be the last, soft thought in your mind. You have the power to stop the repeating circle of blame. Rest now in the safe, quiet knowledge that you are a kind and peaceful person. Sweet dreams. Breathe deep now, a slow, gentle breath, and hold the peace you have found. The hidden force of the scapegoat is quiet now, but the story is not over. If this journey helped you relax and see the world a little more clearly, share this gentle story with a friend who needs quiet sleep. Let them find their own peace in the deep history of the human heart. The hidden force of the scapegoat is quiet now. You have heard the ancient whispers, the long history of blame, and you have chosen the gentle path of understanding. You know that the greatest strength is not in finding a villain, but in accepting the simple, human fear that lives in every heart. The truth is quiet, and the truth is kind. Your mind is now safe, and your spirit is free from the old hard words. Now, as you drift to a deep, peaceful sleep, ask yourself this one lingering question. Who will you choose to forgive tomorrow? Let the answer come as a soft whisper on the morning light. Sweet dreams.